Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This show and all episodes are brought to you by Never Too Hungover. Never Too Hungover is a healthy vitamin blend that helps neutralize toxins, restore vital nutrients, and rehydrate the body. It is the best tasting and most effective way to help prevent or recover from hangovers. There are two types: prevention, which you drink before or during your wild night out on the town. And if you've had too many Vegas bombs and are still struggling the next day, the boost will help set you straight. Thanks for the samples, Never Too Hungover. Juice in the Morning listeners, use the promo code JUICEBOX for 25% off your order. You can use that on their website at nevertoohungover.com, and you can also use that same promo code, and that is JUICEBOX on Amazon.com.
Juice! Juice in the morning! Juice in the morning! Juice in the morning! Juice in the morning!
All right, so I think we're live. We are at the Colts Tailgate. It's the home opener for the Indianapolis Colts.
Woohoo!
Hannah Glansberg is back. Or is it at Crave Hannah?
It's at Crave Hannah. I ditched the alter ego.
Yeah, all right. So I think that the technology's working. We've got a videographer right there.
Woohoo.
Tommy's doing a promotional video for us, so look for that. That'll be on Facebook, on YouTube, all that good stuff. And then
Can't wait.
also joining us is John Marchbanks.
Dun, da, da, da.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us today. So John is a guest because he is what I would consider a football expert. How do you feel about that?
I'm trying to get there. We'll see. Working pretty hard, trying to, get as much scouting in as I can on the college guys, and keeping up with the pros too.
Yeah, so how do you feel about this game that we're getting ready to do, which is the Colts and the Arizona Cardinals? What do you think about that?
So at first glance, it looks like a pretty tough matchup for the Colts. The Cardinals are rolling out a pretty stout defense. They got a couple of top rookies in the draft this year. They got Hassan Reddick on that first round.
Yeah, I was talking to you about the defense, and I have no clue about how the Arizona Cardinals are. Like, I don't know if they're good at defense. I've heard their defense is good. I think a couple of years ago on fantasy, I owned their defense, and I think it went pretty well. But you said they're rookies, so are those rookies defensive players?
Yeah, both those rookies. The one they got in the first round, Hassan Reddick out of Temple, and then they got Budda Baker in the second round out of Washington. They should be starting this week. They are really talented players. Hassan Reddick was really underrated before the combine last year, and then he really raised his stock. And I think he's really going to fill out that defensive line on the other side of Chandler Jones. Yeah. And they got Robert Nkemdiche right there in the middle. He's talented. He underperformed last year, but it looks like they're going to have a pretty stout defensive front this year.
So, Hannah,
Woohoo!
how much of a Colts fan are you? Because I've seen you at Pittsburgh games. I've seen you at Colts games.
All right. So my family's from Pittsburgh, so I'm a diehard Pittsburgh everything. But, I grew up my whole life in Indianapolis. So, I'm pretty much affiliated with the Colts, and we've always had season passes. So I grew up going to the Colts games. I've got Colts Bud Lights on deck.
Yep, I love it.
Yes, they're my home away from home in a way. So.
We are definitely on brand today. We are drinking Colts Bud Light, the cans. Tommy's getting a shot of that right now.
Woo!
And once again, I want to remind everybody, we are at the tailgate right now. There are people playing cornhole. There's people grilling. There's some guys that gave me some Make America Juicy Again ale. I feel like that was.
They're branding us. I feel like.
Exactly.
Wait, do we need to trademark this? Is that what's going on?
I don't know, but I think these labels come off, so they're like stickers. I don't know. Maybe they'll be on.
Got
they'll
some
be
good,
somewhere.
good patent attorneys down there.
Coming up in the future.
Yeah. So what are some of the positives that you see, or the negatives that you see the Colts are facing today with the Arizona Cardinals?
So one of the biggest negatives that stand out to me was the offensive line play last week. Scott Tolzien was pressured on around 57% of his dropbacks.
Well, the very first thing, his very first play from scrimmage, he throws a pick six. That's a bad omen for your season.
Throws a pick six, yeah. I can't say it was a great play from him either, but the offensive line giving up 57% pressures, that's not going to help anybody, especially second string quarterback.
And if you guys are listening, think about that. That's 57%. So over half the time, he's being pressured and probably getting hit, getting sacked, making errant throws. So what do you think about the Brissett and the pressure?
So
because he's probably going to start, right?
Actually, they're going to be starting Jacoby Brissett this week.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett, from 2016 stats from weeks 1 through 4, where he started 2.5 games, he was actually 100% accurate on his throws under pressure. So that's going to be a positive that hopefully Jacoby Brissett can bring to the Colts. That, along with his ability to run the ball, I think it's going to give them a new route to go with their offense. So hopefully they can kind of get away from that pressure that the Cardinals defense is going to bring.
So Hannah, what was your favorite experience going to a Colts game?
Definitely watching Pat McAfee.
That's on brand as well.
Branding.
Because Hannah's also interviewed with the Barstool Heartland.
Woohoo! Last week had my first interview.
Yeah, and so it was, she interviewed for a sales position with Barstool Heartland. So I'm trying to selfishly leverage that so that I can get in and start meeting with some of those guys that are already doing their podcast here in Indianapolis. So
absolutely.
What's really funny about that is I keep tweeting Pat on a regular basis, like, hey, you're all about Indianapolis. Why don't you come down to my house and do a podcast? Like, you're all about Indy. Let's do this. And apparently he saw that and talked about it on his own podcast, because I have 2 Twitter accounts.
That is so cool.
I have my personal account and I have my show account. My show account, I don't follow the same people that I follow on my personal account.
Yeah.
So on my show account, sometimes I get them mixed up. And I was listening to a show of the Pat McAfee show, and he was talking to his accountant, and he was funny. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and follow that guy. He's funny. I thought it was my personal account. It was my podcast account. So on the show, he didn't mention my name. He didn't mention the podcast specifically, but he said, this guy in Indy keeps asking me to be on his podcast, but he doesn't follow anybody that's on the show. He just follows my accountant, which I think is weird. And
epic stalking.
Yeah. So
he's looking for the money.
Well, I'm all over it now. I followed his show and a few people, the main people, and then now I'm just following everyone, because a lot of them are Ball State alums. So I'm it's so tight, and they keep retweeting my Ball State stuff. So I love it. I'm okay, they don't even know who I am. I was just there.
And so I immediately went and followed Pat. I followed all the guys on the show. So they are followed. So hopefully at some point I can still get them on the show.
Leverage it a little bit.
Yeah, trying to get some of that credibility back.
How do you feel? He's been on Twitter a lot, breaking down punters and how they do as punters. So what do you think about punting in the game? Do you think it's an important part of the game, being somebody that's into the stats and all of that thing?
Yeah, punting is a huge part of the game. You're going to flip the field position. So when you're in a situation where you're backed up against your own end zone and you got a good punter, you can go out there and leverage that field position, and hopefully your defense can come in and get a stop. You don't have to worry about them starting on the other side of the 50 with a short field.
Yeah, absolutely. You can change the whole outset of the game, by just pinning somebody deep. You're actually, what Pat usually says is, you're guaranteeing points for your offense if you're putting somebody far enough deep, because when you get the ball back, you're close enough to score.
Exactly, and you can tell with some of these punters that are getting these kind of pretty big contracts for a special teams player.
Yeah.
Marquette King signed a 5-year deal.
And he's a stud. He's an athlete. You can tell.
He's really fun to watch, and I think he's one of Pat McAfee's favorite punters to watch.
Oh, they had a little bit of a beef, I think, but I think it's just because they were talking shit to each other on Twitter.
Yeah.
So speaking of beef, I got a little bit of beef with you. Yeah. Before the podcast started, John told me that he's never really listened. So
we have one of those on our hands.
Hey, but the good thing is, Hannah, he does download.
Okay, as long as you're downloading, you're showing up in our basically where we look at somewhere.
Exactly. So we're getting the metric.
Like I said, I don't even get mad at people who don't download. As long as you're like putting in some sort of effort, I love it because I don't have any storage on my phone. So I download it, I delete it, then I listen to it like on like live
She
from the
streams it
actual.
from YouTube.
I always make sure I get a download. Then my phone starts freaking out because I've got us and Smugcast all in the same like 48 hours. Like,
yeah. Speaking of
download.
them, I invited them to come out here, but they're
Yeah.
recording today.
Oh, gotcha.
So they didn't have time, but the Smugcast guys are awesome. I think they
Love
would love
them.
to have you too, John, if you wanted to talk about football with them. So, what are some of the positives that you see? What are the chances that the Colts have for this game?
So I talked a little bit earlier about Jacoby Brissett. I think that, even though he only has 2.5 starts under him, he's going to be a better option than Scott Tolzien, just from that under pressure stat that I talked about earlier. But I also want to talk a little bit about Marlon Mack.
Yeah.
The rookie that you guys got.
He's a very good pick.
Yeah, he's a very explosive running back.
Yeah.
I think he averaged at least one rush of 55 yards every year in his college career, and he had one of the most explosive ratings per Pro Football Focus.
Yeah.
Last week.
Didn't you say there was something about also, speaking of rushing, with Jacoby Brissett, like in his rushing, like, ranking or rating or something like that?
So Pro Football Focus gives out player ratings on different areas of their game. So Jacoby Brissett came in at a 74.9, I think, rating for Pro
On brand
Football
right there.
Focus.
Sorry to interrupt you.
well,
Hannah's opening beers right here. Go ahead.
Yeah, he had a 74.9 rushing rating, which is it's a good rating for a quarterback. Anything over 90 is going to be considered elite. In between the 70 to 80 range, that's going to be considered a good rating. Anything below that is going to be considered below average. So,
Who's some people that you can compare to Jacoby Brissett for that rating?
So, someone like Michael Vick,
Yep.
they came in with an elite rating.
Yeah.
So
In the
you're looking at
90s,
that.
80s.
I heard he's a great
and,
dog trainer.
This is a dog-friendly show, so and
He's
the
always
thing
got that on his
the thing is I hate Michael Vick for that, but honestly, he was one of my favorite players to watch growing up.
Yeah.
So he did his time.
Yeah.
I don't know if he
Not the best. Honestly, is he good at football? Absolutely. Is he the best like dog sitter? Probably not. Like, you win some, you lose some. It's like, am I the best at writing papers? No,
You're not going to hire Mike
Am I
Vick
the
for
best
dog
at
walking services.
Yeah, I'm not going to hire him for childcare, but would I draft him onto my football team? Absolutely. Like, you win some, you lose some.
He's going to start his own dog grooming business and dog walking business.
I hope so.
I don't know.
Get his rep back up. Working on the street cred.
But so you were talking about the high rating for rushing for quarterbacks, and you think that Brissett can bring some of that to the table for him?
Yeah, so last year he rushed 8 times for 48 yards and a touchdown in the 2.5 games that he was in. So that's a really good average that he's got going on right there. And I could see the Colts trying to get some read option type stuff going with
Well,
him.
yeah, because they're going to have a really basic offense when he's in, because he's only been there for 2 or 3 weeks.
Yep,
So
2 or 3 weeks. So they're probably going to go to some of that simple stuff. And, with those read options, they're going to be able to keep the defensive line in check a little bit. They're going to have to play their job, what their duties are on the defense, and they're not going to just be able to come at him if they're running those plays to the quarterback.
just because I'm monitoring with my headphones, do you want to take your hand down a little bit? Because on here it's making like a crackling noise.
Crackle, crackle,
And,
pop, pop.
and Hannah's just coming in hot with that yelling as well. I appreciate
With
it.
my screaming.
No, it's good. It's good. And
All
like I
right.
said, we are at the Colts tailgate. This is the first time I'm doing this. So,
Yep.
so this is kind of just a trial run. We're trying to figure out if this is actually
Friends are
going to be
here.
a successful thing or not. Do you have friends showing up?
Friends are here.
There we go. Awesome. And there is cornhole going in the background. I think, John, did you lose earlier with cornhole, or did you win?
Oh, putting
we
them
actually
on
didn't finish
blast.
the game.
Oh, it didn't finish.
We,
That's a standard. Yeah, that's a
That's a good way to
we
good way
busted twice, and then everybody got kind of bored, and we
walked away from it.
went to go get another beer and
Nice.
forgot about it.
So, one of the things that I really am interested in is, what is it that you have been doing? Because Pro Football Focus has asked you to work for, or not asked you to work for them, you asked to work for them. How's that been going, and what is it that you guys kind of do together?
Yeah, so I've been contributing to Pro Football Focus for about 3 or 4 months now, and mostly we are kind of an in-depth analytics website where we use all those statistics and kind of adjust things to get a more accurate reading of people.
Yeah.
So one of those statistics that we look at is adjusted completion percentage. So we look at every play that a quarterback throws the ball, and we look at how many times a wide receiver drops the ball.
Yeah.
And we're going to remove those throws away from their completion percentage.
Yeah.
So it gives a more accurate reading to where if the wide receivers aren't dropping the balls, what their accurate completion percentage would be.
Yeah.
So it's just things like that give a better picture of how these players are actually performing every Sunday.
Yeah. So that's super cool, and that's something that I'm sure as somebody that's a fan of football, that's like kind of like a dream opportunity, right?
Oh yeah, I've loved football. I spend all my free time reading articles, trying to watch extra tape.
And sadly, you're
stuff
not
like
that good at fantasy football.
Yeah. I was a league champion for the BioLife League 2 years ago. Okay,
Right.
so
We've
I
got
second
some-
place last year.
We've got some ice in that cooler.
for that burn.
That burn.
But yeah, so I think this has been a great time. I mean, we've
Absolutely. We've
This
got
is-
a good group.
this is a great tailgate. They're cooking some burgers over there.
I hope the
And-
next one isn't as hot.
Oh God,
Sweating my spray tan off. Like literally.
like it's just coming off right now.
Melting off me.
Is it like? Does it run down?
I don't know. I mean, it's just like sweat. Like it's just.
Do you ever get like the sweat ass?
Not really. I'm actually not the biggest. Like my legs will sweat. But everyone's like when you're sitting on a chair, but not really like swamp ass.
Not
like
swamp
as much.
ass.
Yeah, we
I-
were talking. The
I get
girls
that
and I
a
were
lot.
talking about this
Oh, yeah.
earlier. So I was
Especially-
actually. I was
I think
actually
my
able to-
wife actually said that's the first
she
thing that gets
started.
sweaty.
She said swamp ass. I was like, hell yeah, let's talk.
These tailgating chairs don't really help it either.
Which is really surprising. I probably.
That's why she sits on the cooler, because it gets her ass
Yeah,
cold
she's
while
like,
she's
it keeps
doing it.
keeps everything in check. It keeps it cool.
Keeps everything in check.
Grabs
What are you
the
trying to
bike.
keep in check over there?
I don't know. Something.
But yeah, so
Medically.
we're having beers. We're talking to John. I appreciate you coming on and doing the show, man. I know that it was a little bit last minute, but we got it together. You are a Raiders fan, so how do you feel about the Raiders this
Sick.
Yeah, so the
year?
Raiders.
I went all in on
They
the
beat
Raiders.
the Colts last year, though. They
for-
beat the Colts, didn't
for-
they?
Yep,
And we
did
broke
beat the
I
Colts,
Derek Carr's
but,
leg.
It was a rough Christmas Eve because Derek Carr ended up going home with a broken leg, and then there went our playoff.
Poor guy.
There went our playoff hopes. But this year, I think it's looking really good. Marshawn Lynch is looking like the beast he was before he retired.
He's probably one of my
Can
favorite
we
players.
address the rumor about Andrew Luck that Irsay was like he's just trying to get out of Indy, even though he's in a 5-year contract?
That's
Can we talk about that?
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, let
So-
let him finish the Raiders thing, and then we will dive into that because
All right,
that's
good,
important.
because I want to discuss that.
Yeah,
So,
I think it's rumors.
yeah, the Raiders, I think they're looking really good this year. Derek Carr was really efficient in that first game. Like I was saying, Marshawn Lynch is a beast. He had a nice truck over the 305-pound
That's fucking ridiculous.
Pro Bowl defensive tackle Jarrell Casey last week. That was amazing. The defense actually held them to 1 touchdown last week,
Yeah.
and then only allowed field goals. So they're looking pretty good against a pretty good young offense over there in Tennessee. So I got high hopes, and the outlook on today's game for the Raiders.
Yeah.
They got the Jets. So I mean,
And the Jets aren't the Jets? Didn't somebody say the Jets are trying to get the first overall pick?
there are rumors that they're trying to
There's
get the
like,
first overall
is that
pick.
like legit? Like, because to me, like that's ridiculous. Like you're gonna lose intentionally. Like,
Just so you can get the
how
first
much
pick.
of a fucking middle finger is that to your fans? And
I
to your,
mean, that's commitment
I
right
can
there.
see-
Like that's like
actually,
trying to get out
I've
of like
heard a lot
algebra
of
'cause
fans
you're
that
too
are
smart.
actually hoping for that as well, so they can
Jesus.
finally get a quarterback in there that's going to start for them. But what I've heard from some of the Jets insiders, listening to some of their podcasts, the players are still locked in right
Yeah.
now.
They wanna
haven't
win.
given up hope yet, and they got a young rookie, Jamal Adams,
Yeah.
at safety. He was I think he was a top 5 pick this year. He's kind of rallying that defense, trying to get them going still.
Yeah.
So right now the players still have hope. I can't really speak to the upper management part of it, where they may be trying to get that
I
first
still
round pick.
think that's just ridiculous. Like,
That first overall pick.
like even I would hope that the Colts are doing everything they can to win.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, bringing up Hannah's point,
Yeah.
How do you feel about the rumors of Andrew Luck saying that, or not Andrew Luck saying this? People
Irsay
people
started
saying
it.
Andrew's trying to get out of town. I wouldn't blame him, honestly. We haven't protected him.
Yeah, in no way,
for
shape, or
3
form.
years.
I don't really see Andrew Luck being that kind of guy, especially when he just signed that 5-year contract.
Yeah.
Honestly, with that shoulder surgery he underwent this season,
I want to say he looks small. I went to the camp. He looks small, and Andrew Luck is known as a big, bruising kind of like quarterback. Like, he's not going to get hurt.
With a shoulder injury like that, it's hard to keep your workouts up. You're going to have to rehab that a lot before you can start trying to put that muscle back on.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that they do need to take the slow route with him coming back in, because
if they're losing, don't even have him come back.
Right. If they pop him back in the lineup too quickly, especially with the pressures that the offensive line is giving up, they're just looking at him going back out again.
Yeah.
So I can't speak to the rumors of him trying to get out, but I think it's a good idea for them to take a slow approach with him coming back in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
if they can't protect him, don't bring him back.
Right.
Because if you're going to have him pressured 60 or 70% of the game, because we're already at 50s over 50%, don't bring him back.
Absolutely.
So your friends, do they want to come over here and like?
It's probably intimidating. They're probably
hanging out over by the. They're hanging out over by the trees over there.
I just texted him. I was
I think they're
like,
gonna fade into the darkness over there.
Jello shots.
They can definitely grab some Jello shots. Those are free.
Yeah.
Kelsey Moore brought those, and
Kelsey Moore is the best.
And you brought a case of beer. So
yeah, my roommates gave it to me. They're like, please move out. There's now a crib in my room. I'm getting kicked out by someone that's not even born yet. They moved my bed into the spare bedroom, which is the size of most people's closets, and I'm like,
she's
great.
essentially Harry Potter.
Yeah,
I'm
literally
keep her under the stairs.
I'm like, it's cool because the stairs are right above me, just in case I need to patrol who's going up and down them or something.
So also, Hannah, we've gotten quite a bit of reviews. There's been good ones. There's also been a couple.
Hell yeah, I love the shit talking.
There was one specifically that was talking about having drunk Hannah on there is kind of a detractor, and I was like,
oh, they were saying it was bad.
Yeah, and I want to call them out because
who was it? Oh, I
don't know who they are specifically, but what I think is ridiculous is you're less drunk than me.
Yeah.
99% of the time that we're doing the podcast.
It's probably my ADD, guys. I can't help it. I love it, though. I love it.
I think that you're a good part of it.
It was probably a girl. She's probably like, wow, that girl's way hotter than me. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm who I am.
Oh, I can't wait for the
drunk Hannah's here, and she's always going to be here unless being drunk takes her out or something. Or I get in the wrong Uber. Get over it.
It's not actually an Uber because I've had that happen to me before. I actually was getting into somebody's car.
No, literally.
This isn't your Uber.
This is my favorite game, and I was with my friends who are over there. This is my favorite game. I literally just get in random strangers' cars and be like, oh, hey, Uber. And they're like, we're not your Uber. It's so funny. I just love it. I love plot twisting people who aren't Ubers.
I had something like that.
I'm pretty sure John has taken an Uber 3 minutes down the road before.
Oh, yeah. It's less walking.
Distraction.
It's only about $3, so... Hey, it's convenient for me.
He's like,
not so much for the Uber
I don't want to walk a half mile to meet up with my friends. I would rather just arrive in style. Is it an Uber XL?
I haven't moved up to the XL yet, but I'm hoping to get there soon.
Awesome.
Ballin'.
I do have a story about Uber that I
was
supposed to take from Howl at the Moon downtown. So I was outside waiting for it, and some guy pulls up and tells us to get in. We jump in, and my girlfriend at the time's like, this isn't an Uber. And I was like, shut up, we're going. And then ended up costing me about $40 once we got home because it was a normal taxi.
Oh, yeah. Fuck those.
Guy Jewed me.
We are not a racially insensitive podcast. He did say that the guy Jewed him. It is a friendly term, I feel like, because the Jews are always trying to make money, right?
I mean, everyone's
But
trying
isn't
to make
everybody?
money. In a way, I'm kind of a Jew. I probably
I mean, I spent, instead of buying this equipment, I rented it from Guitar Center. So that's kind of a Jew move, right?
We don't want to be like that girl from Fox News who was on Barstool. It was just like, fuck the Jews.
Yeah,
Not trying to brand me as that girl.
We're definitely not on that level.
Yeah.
But,
we love everyone.
Oh, yeah.
Jews,
If
everyone.
you listen to the podcast, I like you. Even if you might have murdered your ex-wife or something. Like, I'm okay with that as long as you
was your
download
ex-wife worth murdering?
Exactly.
Like, you need to weigh. Please don't murder your wives, guys. Don't go home and murder your wives. We don't endorse
Look at all
murdering
the
your wives.
Yeah, 90% of the people that do that are the significant other. So
Probably a cop. No, I'm just kidding.
But once again, John, give us some last minute. We're living in the future because this will be posted tomorrow. So tell us what you think's going to happen with the Colts Cardinals game, and then we will revisit it when everybody's listening to it tomorrow.
Okay, so I really think that the Cardinals are going to pull this one out. It's probably going to be, I would say, at least a 2-touchdown victory for them. I just don't see the Colts defense being able to do enough to stop Larry Fitzgerald and those.
He's old. Get him out of here. He's old.
They got those other wide
Old
receivers
balls.
on the
Old
outside. They got the quick guys, and they don't have Vontae Davis this week.
Yeah, that's
so,
true.
It's going to be
Damn
tough
it.
stopping that.
Hannah knows exactly who
that
Vontae
passing
Davis
I
is.
watch him.
The rushing game is it's going to be kind of a challenge for the Cardinals to roll that out this week. They're going to be going by committee with 3 different running backs: Kerwin, Williams.
It was actually a blessing for the Colts to kind of have David Johnson get out
Right.
with the wrist injury.
Yeah.
He was jerking off too hard in the offseason.
Typical amateur move. Amateur move.
If
He was
David
Jerking off too hard before a game.
You got to alternate hands. It keeps both
Yeah,
arms
God,
strong.
Yeah,
So, like,
you don't want to have one massive arm and then
Yeah,
one like
exactly.
string bean
So
arm. Like
that's
that's
what happened.
there
stupid.
you go.
I mean,
Amateur
that's
mistake.
insider information. I've got that from some
a
people.
source of a source. Yeah.
Yeah, and David Johnson being out is probably one of the only reasons I don't think this is going to turn into a huge blowout.
Yeah.
Especially with the collapse of the Cardinals last week with Detroit. But I think the Colts are going to put up a few more points than they did last week.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think Jacoby Brissett's gonna have a pretty decent game on his first in the Colts uniform, and then like I said, I like Marlon Mack. I think he's gonna do some stuff today. So.
Breaking news: Vikings quarterback Sam Bradford is out against the Steelers.
Oh snap!
So I don't know if that's.
I think
worth
the
anything.
Steelers are gonna win.
I don't know who the Vikings backup quarterback is.
I'm off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think it might be Sean Hill.
Yeah.
He's a ginger guy.
They don't have souls,
gotta
and
stick
usually they're not
together.
very
They've
athletic.
gotta stick together.
They're not very
He
athletic.
plays pretty solid game manager type quarterback.
He's
Well,
not
who
the,
was their
he's
rookie?
not the
they
red
just got?
rifle.
Who was their rookie? They literally just got
Dalvin
this year?
Cook.
Yes, Dalvin. Oh my God, everyone's talking
Cool
so
name.
much about him.
Cool
It's
name.
Really cool
I
name.
like it.
I think
Be
he's
all
gonna
on
kill
Dalvin
it.
today, apparently.
He's
but
supposed to be their new secret weapon.
But thank you for coming on and doing the show.
No
This is
problem.
going to be the first half. If other people want to get on and talk and bullshit, we'll do that later. I know that, so really I have no idea where this is going to go after this. But we've had a good time. We're at the tailgate. Thanks for joining. I appreciate
No
it,
problem.
John.
Thanks for having me on.
Your NFL knowledge, I hope that everybody listens to it and then talks a bunch of shit the next day because of if something's wrong. I would really appreciate that. So if you disagree with John or you see stuff that happens tomorrow and you think it's something worth talking to us about, go ahead and post on the Facebook. You can find us at Juice in the Morning on Facebook, and Twitter it's at Juice in the AM.
Woohoo!
Yeah, and you can send any direct feedback to me at John Marchbanks 1 on Twitter.
There you go. That's a very you got that that's on lockdown. Nobody else has the John Marchbanks name besides one person.
One person.
And then Hannah is at Crave Hannah. I don't know if she's going to be back on if we decide to do another one, but if she is, you're back. Awesome,
Yes.
thank you. If
Yes.
you're not, I appreciate you coming on. You can find her at Crave Hannah on all social media.
All social media.
And once again, I want to thank everybody that's listening. You guys are the best.
The else.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, so welcome back to the second half of the Juice in the Morning podcast.
Woo!
Hannah's back, actually.
How's everybody doing?
How are you doing today,
I'm
man?
a complete stranger. I'm great. I went to bed at 6 in the morning sober.
And you're
Woke
wearing-
up at 9:30.
We
You're
will
wearing
call
it-
him Kevin.
I don't have a current player's jersey, so
You're-
unlike you, I have the Manning, I have the Wayne, I have the Freeney. But
Yeah. You're also wearing a "You're My Boy" blue shirt, which I'm very excited about.
You're
I
my
like
boy,
that.
Blue. Best movie of all time. I swear
So
to God. Will
introduce
Ferrell's
yourself to the Juice in the Morning listeners.
My name is Anthony Odie, local Southsider,
Nice. I live on the southeast side right now.
I live on the south
Perry
side.
Meridian High School,
I live
Greenwood
right
High School,
there.
Hill Valley.
No, Hannah's even farther south.
I'm literally across from Perry Meridian, like a neighborhood, like
I'm behind it. Well, I was. I don't live there anymore. Now I live downtown. I'm the GM of the Moe's Southwest Grill and Fishers. So if anybody needs a good burrito, that's a cheap plug.
I love burritos.
Queso for days. Come see me. If you mention you heard me on the podcast, I'll give you a discount. How about that?
There you go. So James, that participates in my fantasy football league, is asking a very good question.
Heyo.
He's wanting to start Roethlisberger or Russell Wilson in this week's fantasy lineup. Russell Wilson is at home against the San Francisco 49ers. Ben Roethlisberger is at home against the Minnesota Vikings. So what do you think?
I like Big Ben.
I like Big Ben all day long. I don't think he
course
ever
Hannah likes
disappoints.
Big
I
Ben.
mean,
But
I'm
on
Pittsburgh.
Minnesota's their strength.
Yeah.
It's not really their corners. The secondary's above average, but it's not great. Antonio Brown's great.
And
We all know that.
Hannah's a homer. We all know that she's a fan
After
of
Le'Veon
Pittsburgh.
Bell's
Pittsburgher
performance
guy.
last week, Roethlisberger will be looking to dink and dump to him for some easy ones.
Do you
to
think
get him
Bell's
back in
gonna
the flow
like
of the
repeat
game.
that? Like, do you think he's gonna not like perform as well as he has in the past?
Well, I mean, he's getting up there.
Yeah.
Look at Eli right now.
Roethlisberger
I mean,
is such
seriously,
an
they were
athlete.
drafted together, right? And
Yep.
Rivers?
Yep.
Rivers he's good.
Eli is literally the owner of the funniest faces that they
So I saw
catch
a
on
stat
pictures.
yesterday, and I think I'm right here. Again, it's early.
Hey, it's
I
all
haven't
right.
had any coffee yet. But there were
Nobody
the
fact
top-
checks this podcast.
The worst 4 teams in time of possession last year: the Jaguars, the Browns, and the Texans.
Yeah.
The fourth one,
Vikings.
Giants.
Wow,
Yeah.
sometimes
Giants.
I forget the Browns play like they're in the NFL.
Best-
Is that crazy?
No, but the best 4:
Am I wrong though?
Seattle,
Yep.
Green Bay,
Steelers.
Oakland, and I can't think of the other. It's another mobile quarterback. So basically,
Panthers?
The gist of it is, if you have a mobile quarterback, they can extend the drive.
Yeah.
They can extend the play.
They can always get a first down for you when you need
Third
it.
and 10 is always going to have a chance to be first and 10 very easily.
Yeah.
Eli's feet are like cement. They're stuck in the ground.
Yeah, and
And
when
while Roethlisberger's very big and strong,
he's mobile as shit. He's always
I wouldn't say mobile
he's
as
starting
shit.
to lose a little bit of it.
bit,
but
only-
here comes the kicker. And this is why I like Roethlisberger over Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson, in my opinion, is the ultimate dink and dunk guy.
Yeah.
He just dink, dunk. He might get you 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
3 we've seen Roethlisberger put up 60.
Yeah. Exactly.
He can throw 5
So
touchdowns in his sleep.
James, we're telling you right now, start Roethlisberger.
And if
Roethlisberger
I'm
all the
wrong,
way.
James?
Don't mess this up.
I'll come back next week and you can Rochambeau, you go first, man, all right?
That's a good compromise right there, buddy.
But I just think that with what Roethlisberger's got around him,
I'm getting handed Jello shots.
I
here.
mean,
oh my goodness.
I don't blame you.
I think we all need to do one here real quick.
I will take
We're
one.
gonna-
Sure.
That's okay.
Roethlisberger is such a safe choice, though. He's always good. He's always carrying. He's his back.
He's also
always-
really good at
he's
having
always-
sex with people in
Yeah,
bathrooms.
let's not go there.
I'm not saying go hang out with him in a
Let's not
bathroom
go
stall.
there.
I'm
They
saying
call
put
it
him,
Rapist
have him be your
burger,
fantasy.
but,
Like
you
have
know.
him. Okay,
I
yes,
don't
he
know.
does get rowdy in bathroom stalls. I heard that. We all know TMZ, but like he's a good player. If you're talking about playing all day. Not playing in the bathroom stall on the field.
That's a little bit of rough play sometimes.
He's not. He shouldn't be your first person to
So,
invite into the bathroom.
I guess
but he
I'm going
should
to
be your-
shamelessly take this time to let everyone know out here that my buddies in my league, you know Paul,
Yep.
and Jeff, and Miller, and everybody. So
And he does the DFS.
the keeper league,
Yep.
yeah. So they call me the fantasy hitman.
Uh-oh.
I want to hear your opinion on this because I know I got robbed,
Yep.
but I also know that I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So hear me out.
I'm listening.
First time ever, we're in a keeper league,
Yep.
They allow pre-draft / during draft trades.
See, okay.
You're trading players' rights.
Yep.
Still got to plug everybody in, you know what I mean? You got to have correct rosters, what have you.
Yeah.
The guy I'm sitting next to offers me Dante Moncrief, Travis Kelce, and Derek Carr for David Johnson.
Yeah, you got to do that.
I had to.
I guess prior to the wrist injury, I mean, maybe
No,
it's
it
still,
was absolutely prior to that.
so maybe obviously.
But I also traded Jamal Charles 5 minutes before he shredded his knee.
yeah.
I traded Odell Beckham this year.
So you're kind of like Good Luck Chuck, except for the opposite.
Fantasy hitman. That's what they're calling me, man.
I love that.
It's insane.
Like, don't
And
ever.
I'm running with it.
So,
I'm running with it.
The scary part is, are people going to avoid trading with you?
Yes, absolutely. They're done. They're done. They all three just told me it's a wrap. No one's making deals with you anymore.
Yeah, they're like, every guy I'm gonna trade with you is gonna get hurt right away and be out for the season. So, essentially, you told me you did a fantasy league with somebody. Tell me about the fantasy league you were talking about.
Yeah. So JV,
Yep.
my guys, fellow Southsider,
Yep.
Indiana State University.
Where are they from? Like, what do they do?
He hosts the
Yuck,
ride
Indiana
with
State.
JMB from 3 to 7 every Monday through Friday every week. He's our local afternoon guy,
Yeah.
Sports Talk Radio.
Got ya.
Follows up Dockage.
Nice.
And
I've heard Dockich is a dick.
he is, but he's great to me. He loves me, so I don't mind.
That's
all the guys.
great.
My girlfriend used to work with all of them. I got her a
Nice.
job
Oh,
in
yeah.
their promotions department, so
Hell yeah.
they like me.
Good.
But Dockage can be the biggest dick you've ever seen, and I don't mean his actual package. I'm talking about his personality.
No package
Sorry, Dan.
intended.
Sorry, I've never seen that, so I
Yeah.
can't speak to or for.
Can't speak to it.
But with that being said, if you act like that, you probably got a big one. That's all I'm
I mean,
saying.
you're pretty confident.
Or it could be the opposite. It could be tiny. You never know. You never
Says
know.
the beautiful girl in a Red Sox hat. I
Hannah
just can't deal.
knows-
I
Hannah knows
cannot deal.
exactly what she's talking about.
I know
right
exactly what I'm talking about.
Except her
I know
choice of
exa-
baseball teams.
now. Yeah. What's the
Okay,
deal?
you
Like,
know
do you
what?
just like it as a style, or do you actually like
you
the?
know what? I actually,
the
you
Red
know
Sox?
what? This is even my hat. You know, I ran out of time to wash my hair today. And,
That's a good claim.
yeah.
That's good.
Now that you're getting
I'm a
berated
Pirates
on the
fan if we're gonna get, if
podcast
we're really
by a
gonna touch on
stranger.
it.
Yeah, she's a Pirates,
Pirates fan. But
Fuck
Aw,
Pittsburgh.
They're
I
not
like
really
that.
in it. They're
I
not
like
really
that.
in it.
I'm a big Indianapolis Indians.
Whoa.
fan.
Oh man, he's enjoying his Jello shot over there.
He is so ratchet. His Jello shot fell out of the cup and onto the table, the public table, and then he just popped it into his
Fuck
mouth.
it.
Good
Fuck
thing
it.
is
There's alcohol
I
in it, right?
sanitize
There's
these
alcohol, yep.
tables every time I'm done using them. No, I don't.
I don't do that at my restaurant,
That's what
people,
they
by the
do.
way. I
Fuck you
clean the
out.
tables, I promise. I do. With that being said, so I won JMB's Fantasy Football League inaugural year. The way he has for a week, and
Yep.
he has people call into the show and answer random trivia questions
Nice.
to earn their way into the league.
Yep.
I did. I won it the first year. My prize was automatic re-entry into the following year,
Good.
and I got to co-host
Good
the
prize.
show with him.
Woo!
3 hours. I was on ESPN Radio Live.
That's fucking awesome.
It was pretty cool, man. My phone was blowing up the whole time from all my
That's super cool.
ratchet Southside friends. Like, are you on the fucking radio? That voice is unmistakable.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I might be.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
then
definitely
the following
mine, too.
year-
So manly.
Yeah.
I finished second. I lost in the championship
Oh,
game.
no.
And I haven't been able to get back in
Yeah.
since then.
All right. Well, I have a feeling you can get back in if you want to.
Yeah.
I have a very quick story about Jen, my wife.
Woohoo!
She's in our fantasy football league.
Jen's the
and,
best.
And Jen literally was in the championship game, and she was winning. It was coming down to a Monday night game. Her brother, she had a defense. She was up. Defense can go negative in our league. I told her, sit your defense. There's no way you can lose, because he only had one player playing. Her brothers.
I would never even thought of that. I
Her-
think I'm the guru. I never even thought of that.
Her brothers told her it was a pussy move to sit your defense. So she
I
played
got
her defense.
sisters. Fuck them.
Yeah. She played her defense, ended up losing by 3 points. And
That's crazy.
lost the championship.
That's insane.
So the Kelly name could have been back on the championship. I won the league the year before I got a trophy. I haven't finished above the last two in the last 2 years. So this is my year. This is my year.
This is
Jeff
your
and I-
year.
This is my year.
Paulie, Miller, we all got our own league. It's pretty serious. They hated me when I traded David Johnson. They were calling collusion. They're like, you traded the best player for shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I got value.
Exactly. You got 3 players for
right,
one.
Right. With that being said, I won the inaugural year of the draft.
Yeah.
Drafting back-to-back picks, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. It was the year Peyton Manning didn't play. It was the
Yeah.
year the Colts went 1-15.
Oh yeah.
Never saw a snap.
God. Damn.
They all berated me for my pick. I said, "Yeah, I'm an idiot, but I'm an idiot that knows what he's doing."
Yeah.
Peyton played that year. why not be able to have him on the bench to trade him?
Exactly.
I'm a trading kind of
Yeah,
guy,
I've
man.
got-
I make
I've got-
trades for days.
I've got like 6 or 7 wide receivers on the bench that I'm just hoping somebody pops so I can trade them for a running back.
Right, you know what I mean?
But we're nearing the end. It looks like everybody's kind of packing up to getting ready to go into the game.
I lost my Cardinals fan that I'm bringing to the game, but he paid me for his ticket, so that's all that
You're
matters
good.
already. So he's
So
somewhere.
thank you for doing it. I appreciate
thank
it.
you, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
meeting you, Southsider.
If you ever want to
I'll
do
definitely
this again, man, let's
I'll definitely
do
hit
it.
you up
Yeah.
for sure. Thank
Yeah,
you for
if you
doing
could
that.
do, we're Juice in the Morning, Juice in the AM.
Yeah, promote it on
Podcast,
Facebook, on Twitter, anything
Twitter,
that you can.
everything. So yeah.
Do you have the social media that
I
people
do.
follow
I
you?
do. You can find me on Facebook, Anthony Oddi. That's
Oh, yeah.
Oddi.
Okay.
Kind of like the dog from Garfield.
There you go.
You can find me on Twitter at Twist1219.
There you go.
Are you the 1,000th and 29th?
So that's my birthday.
Okay.
And I went to Perry Meridian, and this might
Gross.
offend some people, but it was an integrated school, and
Yeah.
I got along with both sides of the integration.
Yeah.
I pretty much was friends with everybody, so they called me Twist, like the ice cream at McDonald's.
Aw, that's
You get the
so
good.
chocolate
That's
and
good.
the vanilla in the swirl together.
Aw,
Hell
so
yeah.
cute. Love
So,
those.
but
yeah,
and then Instagram as well, Twist1219. Like I said, mention me. You heard me on the podcast here. I'm at the
Absolutely.
Moe's Southwest Grill and Fishers, general
be there.
manager. Your first burrito's half off on me.
Nice.
I don't
Love
know if my
burritos.
district manager's listening. I hope lots of people show up. This is great marketing off
Yeah.
the clock. I just want you to know that.
Definitely have him listen.
He's
to
a
this.
Roll Tide guy. He's from Bama, so
Okay.
he's from the South.
So he's all in.
He's all in. He loves football. It's
All
cool
in with
having
the
a boss that loves
burritos.
football.
Yeah. But thank you for doing it. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you, Twist.
Appreciate it.
11:29.
Once again, Hannah is at
12.
Is at
1219.
Okay, 12. Okay.
12,
She won't
19.
remember.
Yes.
12.
I'll have to listen to this.
Hannah is at Crave Hannah on all social media.
Yes.
You know you can find the podcast because if you're listening to it, you probably know that it's at Facebook,
You
at
Juice
Juice in the
in the-
Morning, and Twitter is at Juice in the AM. Go ahead and listen to us, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
Have a
Okay,
good night.
bye.
Go Colts.
Juice in the morning. Juice in the morning. Juice in the morning. Juice in the morning.